You're watching LEX 18 News at 12:30.
May is Stroke Awareness Month, and the American Heart Association wants to remind you that a stroke can happen at any time and at any age. Here's Nancy Cox with this month's Red Couch Story.
With me today are Kevin and Julie Malone. Thanks for being with us here.
Sure. Thanks.
Kevin, tell me when you suffered your stroke and what that experience looked like.
Well, I went from being fairly good to fairly awful.
We had a pretty typical busy life with young kids, and he's a teacher. So, but our life turned upside down September 11th.
Were you the first to notice symptoms, Julie?
Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully we were sitting together when it happened, and his surgeon said it was a really good thing that I saw it happen, and it was really quick. His glasses fell off, and he couldn't quite put them back on, and then he couldn't speak, and so we called an ambulance, and they were there quickly, and he was in surgery probably in less than 2 hours.
Oh, wow. I'm sure that quick intervention had a major role in your success thus far. What would you say to folks about noticing those symptoms, Julie, and not just brushing them off?
Yeah. Well, he first kind of like sat up real quickly, and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Head," and then that was the last word he said. I called our older daughter in, and we called 911 really within probably 30 seconds of it happening, and I think I'm glad we didn't wait to see how bad it was.
If you have any question in your mind, it's certainly better to act. Kevin, how do you feel you're doing at this point, and how important has the rehab been for you?
The rehab's been very important. The people came in the very first day and were working and stretching and doing, and I didn't think about that they would do that, but it was very helpful.
That's great. Julie, you have 7 children together, so you mentioned you had a busy life. How has that family dynamic played into this? How difficult was it, but also how in some ways maybe was it a benefit?
I would say it was definitely a benefit. When he was in the ICU for 5 weeks, and I just essentially moved in, and the kids, without a second thought, took over, and they were taking care of each other, and they really took it much better than I would have ever expected, and have been his biggest cheerleaders.
Why is it important, do you think, Kevin, to spread this awareness about stroke?
Well, awareness is very strong in our community, I think, and so we like to share that now as we go out.
It's not something we ever expected to happen to us. I mean, we're in our early 40s, and just we're preoccupied with typical life, and our life just changed in an instant, and we just want everyone to be aware that it can happen, and then also we know what it's like to be absolutely overwhelmed with love and support, and we would rather give help than receive it, but we've been the humble recipients of a lot of support, and that's given us a different perspective.